I'm going to say something that's going to sound fake the second it leaves my mouth. I'm 19 and I made $12,417 last month, and I already know what your brain does when you hear that. You either assume I'm lying, or you assume I got lucky, or you assume I'm about to hit you with a link in bio and sell you some $497 course. None of that is what this is, because the truth is, I'm not making this video to flex. I'm making it because I remember being the one watching these videos with this tight feeling in my chest like, what is everyone doing that I'm not doing? And that feeling doesn't go away by scrolling harder. It goes away when you finally have a plan that produces results you can point to. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break down exactly where that $12,417 came from, what my day-to-day actually looked like, and the rules I follow now that I didn't follow before. And I'm also going to tell you the twist that nobody wants to hear. The month I crossed 5 figures wasn't the month I discovered some secret method. It was the month I stopped doing the one thing that was quietly ruining every good week I ever had. Let me start with the money because that's what you clicked for. The $12,417 came from 4 buckets: short form payouts, brand art, UGC work, affiliates, and services. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it was one magical stream. It wasn't. It was stacking. It was taking one skill and getting paid for it in multiple directions instead of rebuilding my life every time I got bored. Short form payouts were the base. That's where momentum comes from. That's where the proof comes from. But it's also the most emotional income stream, because if your views dip, your brain starts doing math you didn't ask it to do, and suddenly you're spiraling at 2 a.m. because a video got 8K instead of 80K. Brand UGC work was the cleanest money. Not the easiest. Cleanest. You do the deliverable, you send it, you get paid. There's no algorithm mood swing involved. Affiliates were small but consistent, and the only reason they worked is because I didn't treat my audience like a wallet. I only recommended things I used in my own workflow. And services are the part people hate hearing about. But if you're broke, services are a cheat code. Not as a forever job, as a bridge, as the thing that keeps you stable while your pages grow. Now here's how I actually got to the point where those buckets were even possible. I didn't wake up one day and become an entrepreneur. I just got tired of feeling behind. You know that feeling when you scroll and it's like everyone else got a head start? Everyone's posting wins, everyone's traveling, everyone's locked in, and you're sitting there thinking, bro, I'm not even moving. That's where I was. And I realized something that sounds obvious, but it changes everything once you actually accept it. The internet doesn't pay you for potential. It pays you for output. So I stopped trying to be original. That's the first thing people get wrong. They think they need a brand new idea. They think they need to reinvent the wheel to blow up. You don't. You need to find a wheel that's already rolling fast, then build your version of it and push consistently. What I did was simple. I found creators in my lane who were already getting the result I wanted: views, retention, money, and I studied their structure like it was homework. Not their personality, not their lifestyle, their structure. How fast do they talk? Where do they place the hook? How often is there a cut? What words keep showing up in comments? Where do people replay? What makes people share? Then I built a repeatable format so I wasn't relying on motivation. Because motivation is cute until it disappears for a week and your bills don't. My format is basically hit curiosity immediately, deliver fast, keep the pacing aggressive, and end in a way that makes the viewer feel like they got value and should stay for the next one. And here's the part that makes people mad. I wasn't better than everyone. I was just more consistent than my emotions. Now I'm going to tell you what last month looked like, because this is where the exactly how actually lives. Week 1. I wasn't even sure I was going to hit 5 figures. I had a couple videos do okay, nothing insane, and I could feel that old version of me creeping in, this voice that says, maybe last month was luck. Maybe this isn't real. Maybe you should slow down before you embarrass yourself. That voice is dangerous because it sounds like logic, but it's fear dressed as planning. So I did something that felt stupid at the time. I made one non-negotiable rule. No scrolling until I post. Not no scrolling forever. I'm not a monk. I'm a 19-year-old with a phone, but I'm not allowed to consume until I create. Because if I scroll first, my brain starts comparing, and then I try to build my life from a place of insecurity. And that always ends the same way. I do less work, I feel worse, and then I scroll more to numb it. So I flipped it. Output first, then consumption. That one rule took me from inconsistent to predictable. Week 2, I started repurposing properly. This is another place people lose money without realizing it. Most people post one place, then pray. I treated every good piece of content like an asset. If I made a strong 60-90 second version, I posted it where longer videos pay better. Then I trimmed it into a tighter 35-45 seconds for platforms that reward speed, same script, same voice, same concept, just different pacing. That's not being spammy, that's being efficient. Because creating is the expensive part. Posting is the cheap part. And when you're small, efficiency is how you survive. Week 3 is where the twist happened, the one nobody expects. I lost a client. One of the service clients I was counting on literally hit me with the "we're going in a different direction" message. And for about 10 minutes, I was mad, then scared. Then I started doing the broke person math in my head, like, okay, if I lose this and views dip, then I caught myself because I realized if one client can shake me, I don't have a business. I have a fragile situation. So I did the most boring, highest IQ thing I've done all year. I replaced that client in 48 hours, not by begging, not by posting a desperate story, by sending a clean, confident message to people who already needed what I do. I didn't pitch my passion. I pitched the outcome. I sent examples. I set a simple price. I gave a fast turnaround. I made it easy to say yes. And that's when it hit me. Most people don't fail because they're not talented. They fail because they're awkward about asking for money. If you can solve a problem, you're allowed to charge. Week 4, everything started stacking at once. Shorts momentum picked up. A brand deliverable got approved quickly. Affiliates trickled in. Services filled the gap. And suddenly the month ended and the number was 12,417. And I want to be honest with you. The number felt good for about an hour. Then my brain immediately moved the goalpost. It was like, cool, now do it again. That's why I'm telling you this isn't just a money thing, it's a systems thing, because if you don't have a system, every month feels like survival. So here's the exact system in plain English, and you can copy it without being me. First, pick one lane for 30 days. 1. If you pick 5 lanes, you will make progress in none of them, and you'll call yourself lazy when you're actually just scattered. Second, pick one daily win that's embarrassingly doable. Not, I'm going to grind 6 hours every day. Pick something you can complete even when you're tired and annoyed, because consistency doesn't come from hype. It comes from keeping promises to yourself when your mood is trash. Third, build content from what's already working. Stop guessing. Stop trying to be a genius on day 1. Study what gets views, then build your version with your voice and your angle. Fourth, stack your income streams around the same skill. If you can edit, don't only edit for yourself, offer it as a service while your page grows. If you can write hooks, sell hook packs to creators or script for them while you post your own content. If you can make one strong video, repurpose it across platforms. And here's the last rule, the one that makes the whole thing actually work. Earn your scroll. Because the biggest reason people stay broke isn't lack of information, it's that they start their day consuming other people's results, then they wonder why they feel behind before they've even done anything. If you do output first for 30 days, your confidence changes because now you have proof, not motivation, proof. So yeah, I'm 19 and I made $12,417 last month, not because I'm special, not because I got lucky, because I stopped letting my feelings decide my schedule, and I built a system that pays me in multiple directions. If you want, tell me what you're good at right now, editing, scripting, talking on camera, design, anything, and tell me how many hours per day you can realistically give this. I'll help you shape a plan that fits your life, not a fantasy version of it.